What do you think it's important for the Netherlands to serve a multifunctional cultural organization?
What the Netherlands could do to support these kinds of organizations? I think the first is to bring people together. We undervalue the power of convening. And what the Netherlands has, certainly over the US, is the ability to bring people together virtually, but also physically, right? We can hop on trains much easier here. And just to talk about these things, just to share the stories, because you're building trust. And so to build trust across different sectors, right? We know what a library is, we know it, right? And so to bring them together and give them time to talk and give them the support to talk and saying that's valuable time. That's the first and most important thing. The second is resources to experiment. I'm a big believer that we learn through play. And just bringing people in to try it, to pop up. I remember being in Tilburg before Lankes was built. And I was in the train warehouse that became eventually the library. What they did with that space for years before they built the public libraries, they did pop-up libraries. Let's put a bunch of bundled recycled paper and let's put them in different configuration, try different things, invite the community in, and through that experimentation, that play, and that familiarization, then when they went to build the beautiful building, they were doing it out of an informed conversation. So they're playing.
Yeah.
And so bringing people in to play and try, we need to support that. And sometimes that means financial support. That means the idea of particularly being willing, as you said, to fund outside of traditional lines. Right? I'm going to pay, yes, I'll pay for the theater group to come in and have that conversation. I'll pay to bring in these different folks to talk and see and visit. I think that making sure that we're talking not just to ourselves in that conversation, but to invite the community to be part of that conversation is essential. That
and do you mean the professional community or the community in the city?
I mean the communities that we're serving, right? I mean, it's great to say, okay, the librarians got together, the theater folks got together, the cinema got together, and we all said we love each other, and we're all going to build a big building. And when we get in that room, we're very happy. We don't know why no one shows up. We don't know why no one. Well, because you didn't tell them, right? Because they didn't necessarily understand what that is. Oh, for some people, oh, that's my Library Plus. For some people, oh, that's my Cinema Plus.
I was questioning you if you also see drawbacks of such combinations of libraries merging with other cultural organizations.
I think any partnership has potential peril for negative effects. But, and when that happens is when people don't understand why they're being in a partnership. Yeah. If they're doing it because it's a trend, well, it worked at Story House. Well, it worked over here. Let's do it here. And they don't have a firm understanding of what they're bringing to the community. It's going to be a problem because what it's going to turn into is librarians have a very definite definition of what the library is and museum and theater and such, and they won't really work together. They'll just be side by side. And so if what happens is people just put these services together because it makes sense to someone, and they haven't spent time with the people actually talking about why they're together, what they share, and what each individual brings to it, then you're going to have problems. And so simply saying we're going to put these services together is not going to be a success. Having conversations and people working together to see why they're in partnership, what they bring to that partnership, that's how you're going to find success.
Yeah. And sometimes it's very difficult because it's like a financial problem. You are here, you are there, let's go together. I'm working for House 73.
Yeah.
Well, initially, it felt for us like a forced marriage.
Yes, exactly.
Well, but as time goes by, it felt more like a blended family or a melting pot.
Yep.
Does this metaphor apply to you if you think as an MFCO? Or?
Well, it does in the sense that all of those are ways we respond to partnership. Right? When we're collaborating together, if, once again, you don't understand why you're collaborating, you're going to go back to your corner and you're going to worry about what's happening. It's not just we'll put them together and things will happen. It has to be a conversation of where people have mutual respect for, this is what I'm going to contribute, this is what you're going to contribute. And all of that has to be based on, and this is how the community gets better because of it.
Yeah.
A huge part of my 14 years of work on the idea of what we call new librarianship or community librarianship, what I just call librarianship, started with a very simple question, which is, can you define what a librarian is without reference to a physical building, right? If someone's in a building called a library doing certain stuff, we call that a librarian. What are they if they're not in that building? What if they are in a theater? What if they're in the field?
Very interesting question.
And what it came down to is, once again, what am I contributing? And the answer isn't, if you take that away, it's not, well, here's the space you could use, or here's some books. It's, I'm here to help you get smarter. I'm here to provide access to different information. I'm here to help you find meaning in that information. Ultimately, my job is to help you learn through conversation. And if that conversation happens in my library, great. If that conversation happens in the museum or the theater or all at the same time, that's fantastic. And so you need to have that, or else you're going to start with, well, what are you taking away? You start with, this is what I'm contributing. You end up with a much better solution.
So to conversate is very important.
Well, it's how we learn.
Seeing it a lot, yeah.